I still smell the beer on his breath when I close my eyes, even though it happened 8 years ago. I was wiping down the last table at the diner, Rag moving in slow circles, when he slammed through the glass door like he owned the world. Big guy, construction dust on his boots, red face, eyes already hunting. He pointed at me with a finger thick as a hot dog. You with the scar, you're uglier than the bottom of my shoe." The clock above the pie case ticked once, twice. My throat filled with sand. Every fry cook in the kitchen froze. Maria, the night waitress, let a coffee pot hover midair. I felt the scar pull tight across my cheek, old burn from a kitchen fire when I was 12. Kids used to call me Crispy. I thought I'd grown armor. Turns out armor's just tin foil when someone wants to stab. I swallowed. "Order up front, sir." He laughed so hard his hard hat strap squeaked. "I ain't eating nothing you touch, Frankenstein. My name's not Frankenstein. It's Louis Miguel Morales. I used to write it in the corner of my notebooks with little stars around it, back when I thought I'd be an artist. Back before Dad left and Mom took 2 jobs and I flunked out of art school because tuition ate itself. Now I scrape grease off for Micah and go home to a studio that smells like onion rings. I should have punched him, or cried, or quit. Instead, I stood there like a stump while he kept talking. "Look at me when I'm talking, circus freak." Maria found her voice. "Out now." He leaned closer, beer breath, cigarette stink. "Tell your waitress she's next." Manager came out, all apologies and free pie coupons. Guy left, but not before flicking a nickel at my chest. It bounced off, hit the tiles, spun like a dying top. I stared at it until Maria picked it up and pressed it into my palm. Her fingers trembled. "You okay, Mijo?" I wasn't. I clocked out, walked 2 miles in the rain, no jacket. Let the water hide whatever was streaming down my face. I kept touching the scar like it had grown. Felt normal size to me, but maybe it had ballooned while I wasn't looking. Maybe I'd turned into a monster and nobody told me. At home, I stood in front of the bathroom mirror. One bare bulb. Crack running through the glass like a lightning bolt. I studied the scar, pink, shiny, shaped a little like Florida. I talked to it. "You happy now? You got us called Frankenstein." The scar didn't answer, just sat there being skin that forgot how to be skin. Next morning I called in sick, then the next, then the next. Manager stopped leaving voicemails, rent came due. I sold my bike, my speakers, the tiny TV Mom gave me when she upgraded. Still short. Landlord taped a neon orange eviction notice on my door. I tore it down, but the paper left a ghost rectangle of glue that picked up every fleck of dust. Looked like another scar. I started riding buses all day, transfer after transfer, nowhere to go. One afternoon, an old lady sat beside me, smelled like cinnamon and cough drops. She patted my knee. "You carry too much weight in your face, young man." I almost laughed, almost told her she had no idea, but she pulled a butterscotch from her purse and pressed it into my hand. "Give it to someone worse off," she said, and rang the bell and vanished. I ate the candy myself. It tasted like childhood. I cried right there on the 43 route, forehead against the window, city blurring. Somebody insults you once and you think that's the wound. Turns out the real cut is deeper, how quick you believe them. I got off at the last stop, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Never been there. Just needed gravity to stop. I sat on a bench outside the oncology wing. Watched bald kids chase each other with IV poles on wheels. One boy, maybe 7, had half a face covered in purple birthmark. He laughed so hard his gown flapped open, showing a chest laced with surgery scars. He saw me staring, waved like we were old pals. "Wanna push me on the merry-go-round?" I looked around. No merry-go-round. Just a little circle garden with a statue of St. Jude holding a child. Kid shrugged. "Pretend one." He climbed onto my lap without asking. Felt lighter than a burger basket. I held his waist, spun in slow circles on the bench, humming some broken tune. His hair was gone except for one stubborn tuft sticking up like a dandelion. He smelled like antibiotic soap and cherry popsicle. "You got a boo-boo too," he said, tapping my scar. "Yeah. Kitchen fire. Mine's vampires," he grinned, fangless. "They sucked my blood till I told them jokes and they died laughing." We spun until my thighs burned. He finally hopped off, kissed my cheek, right on the scar, then ran back inside, gown fluttering like a cape. I sat there until security asked if I was lost. I said yes. They pointed me to the exit. That night I didn't ride the bus. I walked 6 miles to the diner, lights off, parking lot empty. I pressed my forehead to the glass door, saw my reflection ghosted over the empty stools. Same scar, same face. But something felt different, like the kid had taped a tiny hinge inside my chest. I went home, Peeled the eviction notice glue rectangle with my fingernail until the paint came too. Underneath, the wall was lighter, cleaner. I kept scraping until a patch stared back, bright as a new page. I found a half-used can of primer in the alley, painted the whole wall. Smell was strong, headache strong, but I opened windows and kept going. When the sun came up, the room looked bigger. I slept on the floor, lungs burning, and dreamed of kids with capes. Next day, I walked into St. Jude's volunteer office. Told them I could push merry-go-rounds, mop floors, read comics upside down. They ran a background check, saw the eviction, the job loss, the nothing. Took me anyway. Gave me a blue smock that said Volunteer Lewis. First time my name had been printed in years. I traced the letters with my finger in the bathroom stall, crying again, but quieter. I learned the boy's name was Gabe. Leukemia, 3rd relapse. Parents worked split shifts, barely there. I brought him sketch pads, colored pencils lifted from the dollar store, swore I'd pay later. He drew vampires with buckteeth, robots with chicken pox. Asked me to draw him a scar like mine. I drew Florida on his cheek with washable marker. He paraded the halls roaring, "I'm a map, fear me." Nurses clapped. One afternoon he caught me staring at my reflection in a vending machine, smoothing the scar like it might peel off. He tugged my sleeve. "You're thinking about the guy?" "What guy?" "The one who said mean stuff, I can tell." "Your eyes go far away." I sat on the linoleum. He parked his butt on my shoe. "How'd you know?" "I got bullied too. Before, they said I looked like a rotten banana." He shrugged tiny shoulders. "Mom says bullies are just scared kids wearing big boy suits." I laughed so hard it hurt. He patted my shin. "You gotta forgive him." "I can't even find him." "Then forgive yourself for listening." I scooped him up, hugged so careful like he was made of sugar. He smelled like marker and medicine. I whispered thanks into his bald spot. Months passed. Rent got worked out. Hospital HR hired me part-time in the kitchen, same pay as the diner but with benefits. I moved to a smaller place above a bakery, smelled like yeast and hope. Gabe's hair grew in, soft duck fluff. Tests came back cleaner than clean. Doctors smiled with their whole faces. We drew a giant mural on the playroom wall, a merry-go-round with kids riding dinosaurs, unicorns, a lobster wearing sunglasses. I painted my scar as a bright red balloon tied to my wrist. Gabe painted himself holding the string, feet off the ground, flying. Discharge day arrived. Blue skies. His mom cried, Dad too. I brought cupcakes with plastic vampire fangs on top. Gabe handed me a wrapped box the size of a paperback. Inside, a mirror hand-sized, framed in popsicle sticks painted gold. A note in wobbly letters, "So you can see what I see." I waited until I got home to look. Same face. Same scar. But the mirror was cracked on purpose, one jagged line running across the glass. The scar reflected right on the crack, splitting it into two halves that still lined up if you tilted it right. I understood. I bawled like a baby on the yeast-smelling floor, holding that broken mirror to my chest. Years rolled. I finished art school night classes, painted murals in children's wards across the city. The scar faded some but never left. I stopped trying to rub it off. I started calling it Gabe's balloon. One spring evening, I'm setting up for a gallery show, portraits of kids with visible differences, fierce eyes, bright colors. A man walks in early, construction dust on his boots. My stomach drops into my shoes. Same guy, older, grayer, smaller, he doesn't recognize me, points at a painting of Gabe, bald and grinning. "How much for this one?" Voice still gravel but softer edges, I can't speak. He keeps talking. "My grandson's starting chemo next week. Like superheroes, thought maybe I don't know." He rubs the back of his neck. "Thought maybe this would tell him he's not alone." My heart bangs against ribs. I see his eyes, red-rimmed, scared. Same eyes I had on the bus, on the bench, on the floor with eviction glue. I walk over, stand close enough to smell beer again, but now it's mixed with drywall dust and fear. I point to the painting. "Not for sale." His face falls. "Oh, okay, but you can have it on one condition." He blinks. "What's that?" "You tell your grandson bullies are just scared kids wearing big boy suits, and you tell him forgiveness is stronger than fists." He stares. Something flickers behind his eyes, recognition, maybe, or just the weight of carrying his own scar. He nods, throat bobbing. "I can do that." I lift the painting off the easel, wrap it in brown paper, hand it over, our fingers brush. He whispers, "Thank you." I almost say, "I know you." But I don't, because maybe I don't. Maybe the guy who called me Frankenstein was a different person. Maybe we both died in that diner and got reborn a bunch of times since. I watch him leave, boots heavy, painting tucked under his arm like a shield. That night I stand in front of my own mirror, popsicle stick frame still hanging by the sink. I tilt it so the crack lines up. Same scar, same face, same balloon. I smile so wide it hurts all over again, but the good kind. So when somebody insults you, really digs in, makes you feel 1 inch tall, you got choices. You can wear their words like a second skin. You can let it burn the rent money and the job and the dream right out of you. Or you can take that nickel they flicked, stick it in your pocket, and ride the bus until you find the kid who needs a merry-go-round. You can paint your scar into a balloon and let it lift you both. You can forgive the scared kid inside the big boy suit, because maybe one day he'll carry your art home to a bald little superhero who's about to fight the same dragon. And when that day comes, you won't smell beer anymore. You'll smell cherry popsicle and yeast and hope. You'll see a cracked mirror that makes your broken pieces line up. You'll cry, yeah, but you'll laugh louder, because insults only stick if you forget who you are. And you, my friend, are somebody's map to flying. If this story stitched up a tiny part of you, tap that heart and stick around. We got more merry-go-rounds to spin.